haven't seen it, well, we're gonna spoil it.
Spoil it in your face.
That's your warning. So if you get pissed, it's all your fault. Woo-hoo. Woo-hoo. Hey there, sun-dried tomatoes and little biscuits. This is Eddie Collins here with a bonus episode of Media and Popcorn Niggas Spoiling Movies. And joining me today is a friend of the show, a friend of Justin and I, especially in the comedy world. Like, we love talking to him and getting his insight because he's a very soulful and insightful man. Mr. Chris Lamberth, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me. It's been a long time coming. I'm making my triumphant return to
That's right.
This show.
Yeah, and we're actually not talking about a movie or a TV show, so there's no risk of you liking something that I hated, so that's always good.
I think you guys didn't like The Faculty.
We didn't like The Faculty, and then I think that might have been it, but like it was just such a jarring episode for you. Like I remember you liked that movie so much, and it was just Justin and I, like, you were sandwiching between us, and I'm just ripping that. We're both like just shitting on the movie.
It harkens back to my youth in college, where it's tied to a lot of things, but it's a fun. I thought it was a fun movie. I liked it.
You know what? Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. I still check it out here and there. Like, I'll check out scenes and stuff. It's a fun movie.
Yeah. That was around the time where, like, I shifted from liking, I still like sports, but not as much as I like movies and stuff like that. So, like, when I was in college, they were just about to make that shift from videotapes to DVDs.
Oh, okay.
And so I started becoming obsessed with release dates, movies, understanding the process of when they come out and all that, and really, like, physically going into a video store, all that jazz. So
I miss that. Real quick about VHS, and folks, we are going to talk about the Oscar nominations because I'm sure Chris has as many thoughts as I do. But before we get to that, do you remember in the 90s with really long movies like Titanic, there was an intermission?
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm like, was that a Michigan thing? Like, I brought it up here, and people are like, there was intermissions back in the 90s. I'm like, well, yeah, like with the really long movies, they did.
Although I didn't see Titanic in the theater.
Oh, okay.
I didn't see it in the theater. I think there was some kids that went to see it. I just didn't care.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I thought you were gonna say 2 tapes. I remember, like,
there was 2
Titanic,
tapes, definitely, yeah.
Titanic were 2 VHS tapes.
Godfather Part 2.
Maybe Malcolm X. I don't know. I didn't get Malcolm
DVD.
X. Yeah, I think I just waited till DVD for that. Yeah.
Okay. I was just curious because I know you're a cinephile like me.
But the only time, and it's recent, whenever The Hateful Eight came out, they did an intermission.
Yeah,
and
I went to a screening of RRR out here, and they had an intermission, and I loved it. I was like, they should bring this back. Like, it wasn't at a movie theater chain, but it was still like, bring the intermission back. All these movies are 3+ hours now. Like, you gotta do it.
Yeah, you should, if you want people to watch the whole thing.
I mean, they haven't had a problem with that with Avatar, apparently, which is whatever. But yeah, man. I mean, thank you for the background, by the way, the Media Popcorn background. I appreciate that. I should be doing that as the co-host and producer.
Black podcast, man. Gotta support.
Appreciate it. Man, we do. Like, I always mention the Mundane Festival, which is Chris's podcast. Definitely check it out, folks. Rod and Karen, Black Guy Who Tips. We talk about the read. And there's really there's like a few here and there, but there's really like it's tough, man, as Black podcasters, because none of us, except for maybe like Charlemagne, like, but that's like the Breakfast Club and stuff, have the kind of clout that some of our peers in comedy. They're like podcasts where they talk about shitting and farting and what have you, that are like making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. And I'm like, what the fuck?
It's insane. It's really wild. But I always tell myself, I said, to get to that level and to do it like they do it, I really don't want it like they got it, like the way that some of them get it. And it's like, I have to answer to my homies. I have to answer to, not only do I have to look myself in the mirror, but I got to answer to you guys. I got to answer to Randolph, Andy, Rod, Karen, you, and everybody, so it's just like, I'm kind of skeptical of some of those. Like, if I were to do something of note or be involved in something, would I be going on those shows? And I'm fine with making the rounds like I did when my album came out, doing people's, even though it was a small project and, it did go number one when it first came out. Like, but I had fun doing those shows.
Mhm. Yeah.
Like when our friend of the pod, Janelle James, had her game show, Emmy Golden Globe nominee.
Yep.
When she was promoting her game show, she just did the Black Guy Who Tips. That's the only press that she did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, their following is incredible, man. Shout out to Rod and Karen. It's just tougher for us, and I don't think people really realize that for Black folks, like not just in podcasting, but also like in entertainment, like in journalism. Like you sent Justin and I this video that I also saw from Sundance, where a Black queer journalist was essentially being shut down mid conversation with Jonathan Majors.
Right.
And it's like, just let them answer the question. Like, we barely get enough time anyway. Like, when I do the APCA roundtables, we have time usually for one question for the town.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we get real lucky and we get two, but that's it, right? Like, and that's for Black artists that are meeting with all Black critics. They allow us to have one question each. That's not Scott Feinberg or Pete Hammond don't have to deal with that.
Yeah. And I love Feinberg, but it's
just true. Even after the Leticia thing?
I don't know about that.
Letitia Wright. So he like did this article where he like essentially looped her in, like because of her like COVID stances or whatever that may be, with like the likes of Will Smith and Brad Pitt talking about Hollywood forgiving people and who have committed heinous things.
I thought she got vaxxed because she didn't want to drop that bag. She didn't want to miss that bag of her becoming like, everybody. I mean, shit. If you want to call her out for that, everybody's been given a second chance, man. And I don't think it's that egregious. I might look at her sideways, but it's like I still think she's immensely talented. And
she was just upset about being looped in with like those guys.
Yeah, that's not cool. No, that's not cool.
But
I like Feinberg. I like that awards chatter. I listen to it whenever I get the chance. He's got some good interviews, and I enjoy he's got some really good skills, but I don't put him past any of that bullshit. You know what I mean?
Especially now with like the recent, have you been reading like the Oscar like thoughts from like the key film journalists and like about the snubs and surprises? Because the way they talk about best actress is very curious, but also expected.
Not really. Like I kind of keep to. There's certain people I listen to on YouTube, but every now and then I'll look at Perry Nemiroff. She used to be she's still attached to Collider, and these two guys, they have a channel called Fish Jelly. These two gay guys, and they're guests. Not, I'm not trying to like say anything bad, but I follow them on YouTube and Letterboxd. I was trying to get their name. Nicholas Bell and Joseph Robinson, and every time I watch a movie, I will come home and watch their review, and a lot of time, more often than not, we kind of have some of the same sensibilities when it comes. But really, these two brothers that are twins called the Oscar experts. That's really it. And then I just kind of see like what I see, and I think like, oh, I really like that. This one. I just kind of wait till the nominations come out and then discuss with my friends, about what I think is going to happen, who should win, and things like that. But you're more inside than I am now, man. You're an insider.
I mean, it's not better on this side. I'll tell you that. Yeah. Like, a lot of people are like, "Oh, what's it like being in Hollywood and like deep in the film industry?" I'm like, it's something. And even with that, it's like, you were inquiring a few weeks ago, you're like, oh, are you covering Sundance? And I'm like, oh no, I didn't get approved for it. And I kind of attribute that to a few things. One is, I don't know, have you ever like looked into the logistics of going to Park City, Utah for Sundance?
No, because there's part of me, because I'm an actor, and there's part of me that just I want to go when I'm in a project.
Yeah.
My ego is kind of part of my ego's like that, but just the fan in me would love to go. And I was gifted a ticket last year to see Emily the Criminal
Oh, that was
online,
great. That was good.
and I enjoyed that. And so I was like, oh, maybe I'm gonna try to do some. And I was able to get one ticket that I haven't watched yet for but I really wanted to see the Theater Camp movie and the Jonathan Majors movie Magazine Dreams,
Yep.
but they just sell out. And so I was going to ask you, like, what do you think about that, man? It's like, why do they do that if they're leaving money on the table?
Well, I think it's like they're doing that because they're building up anticipation for whenever these films get distribution.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think for me, like the reason why I was asking that question is also because I got approved to go in person last year, and so I was
Okay.
actually planning to go to Park City, Utah, until I saw how expensive housing is, and then I
Yeah.
had critics from Africa reach out to me, and they're like, "Hey, just a heads up, if you're planning on going, there's these locations that are closest to the theater venues and what have you.
Mm-hmm.
Because other than that, you could be in bumfuck Park City or not even in
Yeah.
Park City, and then it's a trek to get to the main area. And that's all before I learned that executives of these studios, they all go to Sundance.
Mm.
So like that's another thing that like I was like, oh, that's why the prices are so crazy. But the online platforms of all these festivals have kind of left something to be desired a little
Yeah.
bit. I think one of the reasons why we probably didn't get approved for Sundance this year is because we were very critical of their online platform last year. Just
Mm-hmm.
like the scheduling, nothing really made sense. You kind of had to like trial by far in regards to getting like access to screenings and stuff. And that's after they decided, hey, we're actually not going to do it in person still because of COVID. It's all
Yeah.
going to be online again. And so I don't know, that was a bit frustrating. And they also canceled in person last minute too. So
Mm.
I'm very lucky that I didn't put in for an Airbnb. I was going to, there was like a group that was going to rent out like this big building, like cabin, and I
Yeah.
was going to get in on that, but it would be like, it was going to be like 3,700 and like a non-refundable deposit, which was
Oh
like at
shit.
least
For
a
how long?
thousand. It's going to be for about a week.
Ooh.
Yeah, and it's like tight timelines, like because people were like, I was only gonna be there for the first week, and then they were trying to have someone come immediately after I left. They're like, we have this bed available from this day to this day.
Some people, like I know another critic of color, Arturo Zurita from Intercut, him and another gentleman do a pod together. I check him out. I think they're there now.
Okay.
Um yeah, I don't, but other than that, and I think they're staying together, they stand with each
Mhm.
other. And I
Yep.
guess if you had a group of people that, could all put something down on the Airbnb, then you'd probably be good. But that's too much, man.
Well, it's also like Justin and I are coming out of pocket when we travel to these festivals. Like
Yeah.
the wife and I, we go out of pocket when we go to South by Southwest, and that's unfortunately why we can't go this year because it's just a different economic situation right now with like living both in New York and LA.
Oh
But
yeah. Yeah.
even South by Southwest, like which I found to be a lot of fun, very immersive. Like
Mm-hmm.
Austin's pretty dope, but at the same time, like we're not doing it like repping, a paper or a trade or anything. We're doing it as independent critics,
Hard.
and so
Yes. Yeah.
everything's out of pocket. I mean, I can expense it through the LLC, but that's you know a different thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, um, yeah, when online platforms like Sundance they like limit who can watch the movies in an online capacity, it's very frustrating. But at the same time, I'm
Yeah.
like, you know what? Like, I'll just wait. Like, I'm a critic. At some point, I'll get to see these movies.
Yeah. That's kind of how I felt just as a fan of movies. Like I got a ticket for Young, Wild and Free. It's
Ooh,
with I think Algie Smith
yep.
and
I
one
wanted
of
to see
the
that.
young ladies from On My Block.
It's supposed to be like Bonnie and Clyde, right?
Yeah, it's supposed to be like that. So I'll probably watch that tomorrow night or something.
Okay.
But it was, I like to participate in that stuff, but it can be pricey because they do add up like $20 a pop. And then I was just like, I'll wait. Uh,
Exactly. Like
yeah.
we'll either get screeners at some point or get invited to another event that they're screening the movie. If it's good enough, if
Yeah.
it's like if it's gotten a lot of buzz, we'll likely see it down the road somewhere.
Do you get to see a lot of these movies early, like even prior to award season? Are you able to go like the week that we're recording now? Infinity Pool comes out. would you get to go see it?
I haven't gotten any offers for screenings or anything like that. I also have Alamo season pass, so I could, in theory, just go this
Yeah.
week and not pay anything for it. But
Right.
I get invited to like kind of like the big studio films.
Okay.
Like we got a screening. We went to a screening for Missing, like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
What'd you think of that? I just saw it last week.
I liked it until we got to the twist that led into the third act.
Yeah.
And then for me, there was like several reps. Like it had me until it revealed what was really going on. And then I was kind of like, this doesn't quite add up. Like I feel like Searching was such a surprise, not just in the way that it was executed, but also the twist was believable given like what you know about people that live in those type of communities and like the cover-ups that happen and stuff like that.
Right.
Whereas this one, it like went so far, it swung so far right. And you're just kind of like, okay, this isn't Black certified. Like there's something that the main character does where I'm like, there's no way that she would just do this. You know what I mean? The scene when she opens the door, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I'm just like, why would you do that? Like,
I enjoyed it because it was one of those unexpected communal events too that made it good, where it was just like, I like Storm Reed. She can carry a movie.
Yes.
Excited to see her in The Last of Us. And I was just like, okay, I'm going to give up my suspension of disbelief and just ride with it. And there were people like in those big moments in the third act, they were like, oh shit. Oh, you know, so, and it was at a, you know, it was at a nice movie theater and people were, you know, like kind of not wilding out, but just like having these visceral reactions to what was going on. So they were locked into the story. You know,
when you see it with like an audience that's into it, that's probably like that makes it up, because like for the House Party reboot, we saw it with a really fun audience, and so it made the movie more enjoyable. Like I thought it was fine, but it actually enhanced it, right? And then we're seeing Ant-Man, I think, in like a week.
Oh, okay.
Or so. So I get invited to stuff like that, but you know, it's usually I'm like one of 4 critics of color in the audience, and then everyone, all the white guys are chummy as hell. It's like it's so isolated being a film critic.
Dude, that's everything.
True,
that's because it's a microcosm of society. It's just like that's what it's gonna be. But we keep pressing on. You know, we keep finding a way.
We do, even if we get setbacks, you know, with Oscar nominations. So for 2023, Chris, what were your thoughts when the Oscar nominations were announced?
I happened to be awake, and I watched them all. I was pleasantly surprised by Brian Tyree Henry.
Yes.
I was rooting for him. I was surprised by Andrea Riseborough for Leslie.
Talk about that. We'll talk about that.
I haven't, because I know we were texting about it. I haven't seen it yet, but that's a movie that I would watch. You know what I mean? Like that's one that I would pay to rent. And even especially because Mark Maron's in it, and I heard him talk about it on his podcast or whatever. So I'm interested in seeing it. Just didn't get around to it yet. Surprised by Ana de Armas, the way that they trashed that movie. I thought her performance was very good, but the movie was just kind of like all over the place in a lot of ways.
I haven't watched it yet because just the one I heard it's 3 hours, which I was like, God damn it. And then 2, there was that aborted fetus scene, I guess, that talks to her. And I was like,
that is weird.
I don't know. I don't want to watch that.
I mean, they put her through the ringer. So I guess they got to give her something. And what surprised me in the Golden Globes, what they did that I would have liked to have seen at the Oscars was give Jeremy Pope at least a nomination.
Yep, that would have been great.
The Danielle Deadweiler thing, I thought they could have gave her a nomination. But it seemed like it didn't really. Nobody talked about that movie. It just kind of came and went.
I have a feeling because the Academy is still majority white, a lot of people didn't pay attention to the director's commentary about how she was not going to show like black violence on black bodies, and so they were probably like, I don't want to feel bad, so I'm not. That's what's happening in society, is that white people are like opting out of feeling any type of emotion that may be sad or like feelings of guilt because of our history in this country. And so I can definitely see some people, that's what a lot of these people do. They don't really watch the movies. They watch what their friends tell them to watch, and that's it. Like, I don't think any of these people really watch RRR, which shows in the lack of nominations.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I haven't.
It's so much fun, man.
I haven't gotten around. It's a lot that I, excuse me, haven't seen. Like, I still haven't seen The Fabelmans yet, or Avatar or Babylon.
Well, Babylon got shut out, rightfully so. It was all over the place, and another 3-hour movie. But I guess we can like kind of go through some of the key categories.
Sure.
Let's start with best makeup and hairstyling. We have All Quiet on the Western Front, which is a Netflix movie, The Batman, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, and Elvis.
Okay.
And then The Whale. Interesting.
Well, if they're doing makeup, I mean that's they did a lot for him in that.
Yeah, I guess. I would hope that Black Panther would win, but they might give it to Elvis. These people love Elvis.
I haven't seen that, and I heard you guys talking. I listened to you guys' review. That turned me off, and I really didn't care. I'm sure I like
to hear your thoughts on it. I like to hear your thoughts, like if you could see it, because it's going to be a tight race in Best Actor between him, Austin Butler, Brendan Fraser, and Colin Farrell.
Yeah, it's going to be either one of those three.
Yep,
it's a 3-man race. Because I was surprised that like Colin Farrell, who was very good in that Banshees, but I was just kind of like, oh, this one's making steam. All right.
I mean, I love Banshees of Inisherin. I've talked about it several times on the podcast. I really loved it. I was also like in a very lonely state when I first saw it, but it still resonates with me. I'm so glad like the cast got nominated, because Colin, he has those moments where like it's sad because it's like someone who lacks self-awareness finally becoming aware of where they stand in their social circles.
Right.
Like when the Barry, what's his name? Podrick, the trouble kid, like Barry Colgan.
Oh, yeah.
When they're having dinner and he says touche to the sister, and Colin Farrell doesn't know what that means. And he's just like, wait, I'm dumber than this guy. Like, it's the look at his face. It's really quick, but I'm like, man, that's some good acting and writing.
He's very good. I mean, it's not just a pretty face with that guy. I mean, he's always been very talented. The fact that he's good in this isn't a surprise, to me. It is a very solid ensemble film, and it's almost, McDonough's a playwright, so that stuff's going to come out in this isolated place, and they're really only in 2 or 3 rooms, and you have some great performances. I get it. I get why it's doing so well.
Yeah. I just worry that Elvis is going to win Best Makeup Design. I'm hoping for Best Costume Design, which is Babylon, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, Elvis, Everywhere, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and Mrs. Harrison Goes to Paris, whatever that is. I hope that Black Panther could win again, because they won for the first one, Ruth Carter. I think she deserves to win because some of those costumes, especially the funeral scenes, were fantastic.
Yeah. Was not a fan of Ironheart's suit, but
okay, I didn't have a problem with that. I had more of a problem with Okoye's whatever.
Yeah, that was weird. That was weird.
Kinda outfit was. That was weird.
That was like that Manta thing in Aquaman. I wasn't a fan of that. I bought the action figure for Ironheart because I liked the character and everything.
Got it.
Like, I just but it's fine. I'm rooting for her.
I am too. There's obviously there's like Best Animated Short and Best Live Action Short, which I haven't seen any of these. The only live action I was really rooting for was North Star, starring Coleman Domingo. I thought it was a really fantastic short film, but it didn't get qualified. So I kind of bowed out.
I've heard of that. I have not seen it. I don't even know how to see some of these short films.
It's
tough.
Did
they play them at AMC? Do they play them at AMC before the Oscars and stuff?
They sometimes do. Yeah, they definitely have screenings like for members to see them. But at this point, they're sending out the Venmo the Vimeo links and
Oh,
stuff
okay.
for Academy members probably. But best animated features: Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, Marcel the Shell with Shoes On, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, The Sea Beast, and Turning Red.
The
What are
only
your
one
thoughts there?
I've only seen Turning Red,
Oh
but it's
wow, you haven't seen Pinocchio or anything?
no, no, I haven't. I have not seen it. I'm telling you, man, I haven't seen a lot, but I can tell you who probably will
Why
win.
not? What, like, were you just really busy, or just like nothing really jumped at you this year?
I've been busy this year,
Yeah.
and the stuff that I've seen, like I'd have to look at the the 10 out of the 10. I think there's like of the nominees, there's probably 2 or 3 that I haven't seen.
Okay.
So by the time the ceremony comes, I will have seen. Because we just got the SAG, screeners last week.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So I'll be able to see them to see more.
I mean, I loved Pinocchio. Like the animation, like just stop motion is always going to have, I have a soft place in my heart for that kind of work. However, I love Marcel with the Shell with the Shoes On. That was an incredibly endearing, fun little movie. And then Puss in Boots, bro. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish is fantastic.
Wow.
It's a lot of fun. It takes some different, like a different direction than you would assume it does, and it's probably the best of like that whole Shrek universe besides the first Shrek.
Okay.
It's really good. So I'd be happy with either one of those 3 winning. Turning Red was fine. I thought the wife loves that boy band from the movie.
I like that. I thought it was cool, and I like that they liked the black kid.
Oh yeah.
That was interesting. That I think he was their favorite. I think
so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was interesting about mothers and all that. The Pixar, Disney, whatever, they know what they're doing.
They do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what their next movie with like I think it's
Fire
like
and Ice
Fire and Water or something like that. Yeah.
Something
See
like
what
that.
that's like. But best visual effects, the nominations were All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar: The Way of Water, The Batman, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, and Top Gun: Maverick. Everything Everywhere All at Once was not nominated, but I think that there's some secret fuckery going on there, because it was a small team that self-taught themselves, and so they're not going to allow that to get nominated.
Didn't they get 11 noms?
They did, but visual effects, they weren't eligible in that category.
Because somebody was saying, the Oscar experts channel, they were saying that 11 noms, they're kind of afraid that it might work against them, and they can't, like, A24 is kind of becoming a low-key juggernaut now.
Oh yeah.
So it's you can't, they're really not the little studio that could anymore. I drove almost an hour to see When You Finish Saving the World.
Isn't that the Julianne Moore, Jesse Eisenberg?
Yeah.
Oh man, I hated that movie.
You hated it?
Yeah, I thought it was. I watched it for South by Southwest, I think, is when it premiered.
Oh, so you saw it last year?
I saw it a long time ago. Yeah.
Yeah. You hated it?
I did not. I mean, because it's just like white people problems, and it's directed by Jesse Eisenberg, and I was like, okay, of course it'd be his first film. Like I just didn't have any hook into it.
Oh, I liked it. I mean, the characters. Well, the Finn Wolfhard character is not.
He's going up to look weird, man.
It's, though, when I look at it, when I think about it, is what happens when white people try to when they doing what happens when white people do too much, and they both got put in their place, and it brought them back together to like, you motherfuckers need a reset. So I thought it was good. I liked her performance. I liked what his mother was doing. She's working at a shelter and all that stuff. I thought it was, and the dude like that not getting the girl was like, yeah, you shouldn't.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think for A24, they just do a lot of original stuff, and that's what audiences are fucking with now. I think that's the curious thing about the conundrum that a lot of the big studios are finding themselves in, is that they're willing to put a lot of money behind things that are IP. that have name recognition, but very few of them are willing to put like 10 to 20 mil towards an original idea because they just don't know how to market it. I think a lot of marketing teams are stuck in their ways and are not able to think outside the box the way A24 has been able to with a lot of campaigns.
Yeah, because you would be, God, was Moonlight A24?
I believe so.
So like back then, for that movie to come out in September, it's almost kind of, we thought back then, 2016, that was kind of late for something to be something to come out, because you were thinking like maybe November, December Oscar stuff, and for everything everywhere all at once to come out in April of last year to still be going strong, really, really strong, not missing a beat, really. That's what a difference 6 years makes. You know what I mean? So it's like it's not surprising to me to have where I really liked it. I forgot what I rated it on Letterboxd, but I did really enjoy it. I was not surprised that it sustained and kept gaining momentum for that long, for almost a year. So by the time it wins for all this shit, it's gonna be almost a year. So that's really impressive.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get to the main categories that are up for, like with the acting and stuff. But I think for visual effects, I'd be happy if the Batman or Black Panther, Top Gun Maverick win. I just don't want Avatar to win anything. Like I mean, he's already making the next ones because it's in the top 6, I think, of films of all time now. I'm just like, he's not going to stop. They're not going to let him. They're not going to.
Does it really resonate with people? I haven't seen the new one yet. Does any of that shit really resonate with people?
It's a really cool bubble moment. Like, it's like you're in the theater, you like immerse yourself in this world. It's really cool visually. You get out of the theater, I completely forgot everything that happened.
That's what I mean. Like, you go on a field trip, you see some science shit, and you go, but you don't remember what you saw. You just remember you went to the gift shop and you ate.
But if everybody goes to that field trip, right? If everyone in the world goes to that field trip just once to see what it's like, that's how you get to $2 billion plus.
Yeah. Doesn't move the needle for me.
No, it's not. You can catch it whenever, man.
I got the screener, so I'll watch it.
Yeah. I mean, I will say it's weird that Zoe Saldana's been in like 4 top highest grossing films, but she's never been able to do it in her own skin. You know what I mean? She's never been able to be a brown woman in a big budget, like $1 billion movie.
No, she hasn't. No.
It's very bizarre. But original song is apparently Diane Warren, who keeps getting nominated. Like, I don't know how that works. For Applause from Tell It Like a Woman, which is a movie I've never heard of.
I haven't either.
Hold My Hand from Top Gun Maverick, which is by Lady Gaga. Lift Me Up, which is by Thames, Rihanna, Ryan Coogler, and Ludwig Göransson. And Natu Natu from RRR. And This Is a Life from Everywhere, Everything All at Once. I would love to see Ryan Coogler get an Oscar, but at the same time, I'm all good with Natu Natu because that song is banging. Okay. But you haven't seen RRR yet, so you don't know the Bollywood dance.
No.
Dude, that shit is fire.
I'll take your word for it.
You got to check it out, man. It's a lot of fun. I know right now you're locked in like with Last of Us and like other actors, but if you can make time for it, man, you won't regret it. I promise.
I saw a lot of movies last year, but just the way where my interest went, it just was not on a lot of these movies that were considered. I didn't. Yeah. We'll get into more when we get into the major categories.
Yeah, like the major ones, because the best cinematography, like a lot of these I've seen a few of them, like, so it's All Quiet on the Western Front, Bartle, False Chronicle of a Handful of Truths, I believe that's Alejandro Inarritu's film, Elvis, Empire of Light, which we talked about like via text, and then Tar. I actually wouldn't mind Tar out of all those because the cinematography was really interesting in some scenes.
Tar was the best thing I've seen this year to me.
Oh boy. Okay.
I loved it. I thought it was fucking incredible.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, Tar is up for best original screenplay alongside The Fablemans, Triangle of Sadness, Everything All Everywhere All at Once, and The Banshees of Inisherin. I think it's going to lose Everything Everywhere All at Once, though.
Yeah,
That script is bonkers, dude.
Just like Kate Blanchett's gonna lose to Michelle Yeoh.
She might, man. I mean, it's really tough. I think for the moment, you talk a lot about like having that Oscar moment. And I recently watched Everything Everywhere All at Once, and she doesn't quite have that the way they I can never pronounce his name, but the gentleman who's up for best supporting actor from that movie, they don't she doesn't have
Ki-Hoo
that
Kwan?
Oscar moment. Yeah. She has
Well,
great solid performance throughout the whole thing, but Kate Blanchett's got like 3 scenes that she can pull from.
I mean, it's like I never really truly understood what being a force of nature was until I saw her in this film. To
Are you
me,
talking about Kate Blanchett or Michelle Yeoh?
Kate Blanchett.
Got
I
it.
think I, to me, I tweeted that was the best superhero movie of 2022.
You mean
It's
super villain too, right?
I, I don't know.
Oh,
it's to whoever's looking at it, man.
interesting.
It's
Even with those emails, you don't think that she was a bad person?
I'm not saying that she wasn't bad, but I think that's the thing, man, about being an artist and just like how far are you willing to go to get to where you want to be. And I think it's an examination of that. It just happened to be a woman. If it was a dude, you know, we've seen that. I think we've seen that before, but we haven't seen anything like this as far as like social media is concerned about getting canceled and what happens when you have to go away. And does that person really completely go away? And we see in real life that people who have been put away have gone away for a little bit. They've come back and they still maintain.
Yeah, they come back like nothing happened. Which
like
is
nothing
so
happened, man. Like it's wild. And it's like, even as the people that I like that have been canceled, that have come back, and it's just like, oh, he back now. Okay.
Mm-hmm. They're all on podcasts and everything, just like, hey guys, it's been
they
a
kicking
while.
it, man.
It's like, huh?
So
yeah, I definitely think the Daniels will win for that. In regards to best adapted screenplay, it's All Quiet on the Western Front, which I guess I gotta see now. It's on Netflix.
is it okay?
Yeah, Glass Onion and Knives Out Mystery, Living, which I also have to see because Bill Nighy got nominated. Top Gun Maverick and Woman Talking. Now I've heard Woman Talking will likely win this category. I have not watched it yet. Yeah, you saw it, right?
I saw it. I wasn't that impressed. I like Sarah Polley. I'm happy for her. I thought it was fine. Once I understood what it was really about, I was like, what? It kind of reminded me of The Village.
Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah. I didn't
like
hate
they're just talking
Village.
a lot about nothing.
And a lot, well, just like how I don't want to spoil it, but just it's niggas spoiling movies, but
just spoil it. No, our audience, let's be real. Like our audience is probably not gonna check out Woman Talking once they see who the cast is.
That's true.
They're gonna be like, what?
That's true. I would
even
just
the
say,
white audience that follows us, they're gonna be like, I'm not watching this shit.
Only people like me go see this shit. So these women are it's 2000, I think it's 2010 that these women are living like they're like Mennonites, and they are living like they're in the past, and it's like fucking 2010. And it's like, why don't y'all just leave? But I don't know if they know that what else is out there. So that's kind of like all that they know. And it's just kind of like, okay. I'm just kind of like, I like the acting is good. These people are really talented, but I just, I just kind of like don't really, it's not better than Tar. It's not better than what else is not, what is it? Adapted screenplay?
Yeah, adapted screenplay. I mean, I liked Glass Onion, but I do think the first Knives Out was a little bit stronger in story.
I did too, and I really did like it. This one is like we got more money now.
Yeah,
and we're gonna stun a little bit, and I still had fun, but I like the first one a lot better.
Yep. I hope that he does like a bunch of different things. Like he's constantly pushing it instead of like kind of going to the same tropes. Like I hope the next one's something completely different than what we would expect in Knives Out.
I
Mystery
like
Inc.
his films. I
Yeah.
like pretty much all of them that he's done.
Yeah, Ryan Johnson also has a great interview with Mark Maron. You mentioned him, his podcast earlier. Like that's one of my favorite podcast interviews of last year, I would say.
That was good. Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember.
really
Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, now we're into the big categories here. Best Supporting Actress. We got Angela Bassett for Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, Hong Cho for the Whale, Carrie Condon for Banshees of Inisherin, Jamie Lee Curtis for Everything Everywhere All at Once, and Stephanie Hsu for Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Stephanie's the favorite, but I think it's Angela Bassett's time.
I think Stephanie is the underdog, but like everything I've read say essentially Angela Bassett and Ki Huan are locks in their categories.
Let's say it like this: they better give it to Angela.
Yes, there will be problems if she doesn't get it.
And it's almost like, because before they were saying, like, I heard people saying, oh, you know, like Jamie Lee Curtis has been around for a long time, and they kind of wanted to give it to her, and I was like, Nope. And then I saw The Whale, and everyone's talking about Brendan Fraser, who I thought did well, but I was really impressed by Hong Chow. But I shouldn't be surprised because she's really good in everything.
She's been killing it. Yeah,
and for your listeners, I would say check out this film Driveways that she did with Brian Dennehy. It was Brian Dennehy's last film. Just a really fucking solid movie. Just really good. Yeah, I think Angela Bassett takes this. She's gonna have
a great speech too.
Yeah, so they're gonna give Michelle Yeoh and Ki-Hu Kwan the Oscar. So Stephanie just gonna get more work from this, and she'll work her way back to something else. But I think it's Angela Bassett's time right now.
Yeah, and then Best Supporting Actor, we got Brendan Gleeson for Banshees of Inisherin, Brian Tyree Henry, yes sir, for Causeway. Even though Bill Street, he had better scenes, but I'm just glad he got nominated.
That monologue was amazing that he had in Bill Street.
Judd Hirsch for The Fabelmans, which I think he's in it for like maybe 6 minutes. Barry Keoghan for the Banshees of Inisherin, and Ki-Hu Kwan for Everything Everywhere All at Once. I'm glad that Barry and Brian Tyree Henry got nominated. I think they both did like really underrated performances this year, so I'm glad that they were able to break through. I was happy Paul Dano didn't get nominated. I know you haven't seen The Fabelmans, but I didn't need any of those actors honestly to get nominated, except maybe the kid that plays Steven Spielberg. Like that, he's the best performance in the movie to me.
Not even my girl Michelle Williams.
Bro, that's what I am curious to hear your thoughts on it. I don't know if Steven Spielberg's mom was that crazy, but her performance was nutso. Like her performance was like, this is a troubled woman. And I don't know if that's because he doesn't fully talk about that. It's very odd. Like and I saw it at a private screening where like celebrities were introducing it and stuff like that. Like people were excited, and then we're all kind of like, what's going on with this performance?
Oh, shit. I love Michelle Williams. I mean, I think she's a generational great, but we'll get to that. But man, this one's kind of.
I think Ki-Hu Kwan has a lot.
Gonna win.
I think he's got a lot to, like his speeches, his interviews. Like
he's kind of adorable.
Yeah, how emotionally he gets. Like the fact that he's like, he took that long break and he talks about having that career break and the reasons why. The lack of good Asian roles and stuff. He's got a great narrative.
Yeah, I think he's gonna win, but I'm happy for my nemesis Brian Tyree Henry to win. He doesn't even know I exist. No, I like him a lot, and I thought because you and I talked about the movie about Causeway, and I just happened to have like a pass the week that it was coming out. I had a pass to the Angelica, and it was playing there, so I said, you know what, I'm killing time before a show. I'm gonna see it. It's just a very solid, earnest performance from him.
Absolutely.
Nothing surprised me, but I just thought terrific performance from him. I'm glad he got nominated.
Yeah. He has that great scene with when they're like the future, when she's like the celebrity, and she says like, in one life we're like, running a laundromat and doing taxes. And he's like, it's like, I would have loved to have a life with you where all we do is laundry and taxes.
Mm-hmm.
It's a beautiful moment.
He's gonna win.
Yeah, he's gonna win. We're gonna do best actress last because I have a lot of thoughts on that. So for best director, we have Martin McDowell for Banshees of Inisherin, the Daniels for Everything Everywhere All at Once, Steven Spielberg for The Fabelmans, Todd Feld for Tar, and Ruben Östlund for Triangle of Sadness, which is another movie I have to see.
I haven't seen that.
Steven Spielberg seems to have this kind of like locked, especially now that James Cameron's out of the running. And all the female directors that were eligible, Gina Blythe, Prince Blythewood, Sarah Polley. So it's a men's club, even though there's some really, really strong female directorial pictures this year.
This is a man's world. Well, if the Daniels, I think they're either going to win. Are they nominated for best original screenplay?
They are. Yep.
They are. So if they win that, they're not going to win best director.
Yeah, everything splits now. I feel like Steven Spielberg's going to probably win just because he's been cleaning up, and I think this is like I think he's hinted that he's towards the end of like his work. I think he's kind of wrapping it up soon.
And he's never won, right?
No, he's won twice. He won for Schindler's List, I believe, right. Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah. I really thought I've never seen anything like Tar. I know I'm not a person who is into classical music. I don't know anything about that world, but I think it's just maybe relating to just trying to be great. It's what Kobe Bryant was. It was just basketball. It's what all these people that, dedicate their lives to a craft. And it's like, it's just that scene where she gets canceled and she goes home and her brother is like, ugh, it's you. Like, it's so good, man. Todd Field, like, he's 3 for 3. Like, he in the bedroom, that was an adaptation. Little Children was an adaptation. And this one was one that he penned on his own, and it's direct the way he put all that together. It had muscle to it. I really love that movie.
We're getting our indie Negro going on right now, but in the bedroom, I will say this, and folks, I know it's going to be a fucked up thought.
Yeah.
When Nick Stahl gets shot by Marissa Tomei's ex,
yeah,
I was kind of like, if Marissa Tomei was my baby mama and you were fucking her and you're some young college kid, I would kill you too.
I mean, dog, like
I
rewatched it. Made after I saw Tar, I rewatched because I own little children, and
that movie's disturbing.
It's pretty wild. And I rented in the bedroom and was just like, man, it's like, dude, you need to go back to school, bro. She fine. You just take that as like you having a good time with this older woman. And
no, I would have been like him, man. I would have tried to lock that up too. You kidding me? Early 2000s Marissa Tomei.
I wouldn't have been fighting. I wouldn't have been like, dog.
Oh, I would have fucked up Tom Cruise's cousin, no doubt, because that's who that actor is. He's Tom Cruise's cousin.
Mapother. Tim, I don't forget I know his last name is Mapother. He was on Lost, but yeah, I mean, he hasn't missed yet. I just think Tar was so robust and grounded in reality. Banshees of Inisherin was good. Again, anything to me that's kind of like a play, I rock with it. I mean, he's a playwright. It's easy. Everything Everywhere All at Once. I want to watch it again, but I thought that was a very good film.
I think it's going to win Best Picture out of the ones we just mentioned. Elvis, Top Gun Maverick, The Triangle of Sadness, Women Talking. I think Everything Everywhere All at Once has the momentum, and it's the fans that really like it are, I think, loud enough where even like, with Coda, if it's kind of like, will it or won't it? And there's this groundswell. Everything Everywhere at Once doesn't even need the groundswell. It's already got the momentum.
What won Best Picture?
Coda.
It did win.
Yeah, it did win. Yeah.
That movie wrecked me.
Yeah.
Oof.
Well, that's the one thing like that was disappointing about not getting Sundance, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, because Sundance is where I first saw Coda. Okay. And ever since I saw it, I was like telling everybody, look out for this movie called Coda. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
I didn't think it could possibly win best picture, but I was really happy when it started getting a lot of attention. So that's one thing that kind of bums me out because I feel like I'm kind of missing on like having the scoop.
Yeah,
but I'll catch up. I'll catch
I
up.
mean, you'll
Especially
see it and just form your own opinion.
exactly.
I mean, it'll be what it is because like some of this shit will be out in the spring anyway.
Yep.
Yeah, this one's hard. I don't know.
Yeah,
It just depends what they do with the other. Yeah.
Yeah, I think for best director, we're looking at Steven Spielberg, and hopefully for best picture, we're looking at Everything Everywhere All at Once. If it's not Top Gun, it's going to be another one of those Academy alienating general audiences, and they're going to be like, "Why do I even watch this show anymore? I don't know any of these." Like, I feel like that's what a lot of people are thinking when they hear you talk about Tar, because for me, as an artist, I appreciated Tar, and I think it would be cool to see the basketball. Like you just saying that made me think, oh my god, that'd be incredible if like they did like a Tar like movie about MJ or Kobe, right? That'd be like really interesting. Because the thing about Tar is, I do think it's very inaccessible. Because like you said, I don't know anything about classical. They talk about classical music like philosophers. So like if you don't know what they're talking about, you're just lost in dialogue for a little bit. They talk in foreign languages, like they talk in German for quite some time without subtitles. So it's like it's very inaccessible unless like you could just embrace it for what it is and like let her performance drive you through it.
Yeah, and I guess because we're people that really love movies, so we're gonna just be immersed in the story. But like I would always say, I would say give it a chance. I mean, because I did rewatch it.
Yeah.
And I was just like, ooh, this is.
It made the wife fall asleep, bro. She was mad at me for putting it on.
It's not for everybody. It don't mean that it's not great.
I know, but it's long too, man. It's like 2.5 hours.
Long. No, and when I saw it, I think I even my light went down. When I saw it, I think I even kind of dozed off. But I think for me it was just because I drove an hour in Philly to see it.
Oh, okay.
So I was not gonna wait. I didn't want to wait for it to open near me, and I happened to be in Atlantic City, and I drove out to Philly to see it, and I enjoyed it. It was worth the trip, and I bought it on iTunes.
Got it. Okay.
Sorry about that, folks.
No worries, man. All right, we got 2 more categories to talk about. Best lead actor: Austin Butler for Elvis, Colin Farrell for The Banshees of Inisherin, Brendan Fraser for The Whale, Paul Mescal for After Sun, sure, Bill Nighy for Living.
You hated After Sun. I really liked it.
Man, I'm watching this 1.5-hour movie and I'm like, is anything going to happen? Like, I was like, I'm just watching this guy with his kid and he's got a broken arm and he's just
kills himself.
Well, does he kill himself?
Yeah.
When did they reveal that though? Is that what we're supposed to assume with the quick flash forward of the older girl?
Yeah.
I was like, what are you telling me?
I mean, I don't know. I'm at a different place in my life, man. After I lost my dad, I was just kind of like, I don't know. It's some things you bring your baggage, whatever's happened to you in your life, to whatever you kind of art you consume. But it just made me think about like, you never understand your parents until you kind of get their age, or you get like, and then you realize what they were dealing with when you get like, God, do you think at this age my dad and my mom were doing this? And that might be why they made that decision. And when they're not around, then there's that mystery too, that can either make things worse or whatever. But I thought it was a good film. It's one of those things where you kind of have to be in the right mindset to see it. But then I don't think I was completely in the right mindset, because I was watching it during Christmas. My mother was yelling at me about something, and I didn't really get to lock in on it. But I did buy that one. For your listeners, if you pair it with this movie that Sofia Coppola did called Somewhere, with Stephen Dorff and Elle Fanning, similar but nice double feature. Continue, Brandon. Sorry.
No worries. I just well, now that I have the context that he does kill himself, maybe I should rewatch it, because that would make a lot of sense, to like the way that he looks at his daughter and like the scenes that they have together. If he knows he's going to kill himself, that that could add some more context for me. I think I was just kind of like, what's going on? It's too ambiguous for me, like to really latch on to anything. But I think in best actor, I love Brendan Fraser for the narrative. Like we talked about narrative before. I love his narrative and like his career comeback. And I would love for him to win because I think if he wins, he won't get lost in the sauce the way that I feel like Mickey Rourke and Michael Keaton and their comeback kind of did.
Yeah.
But I would love for Colin Farrell to win because I think I really liked his performance. The only thing is I feel like Austin Butler's got the momentum. And because Lisa Marie Presley unfortunately passed away recently, I think he might get like the extra push. But that nigga's crazy. He still talks like Elvis. I'm like, if in Dune 2 he's talking like this, there's a problem with this guy's brain.
I like this little story. Damn, I sound like an asshole. I like his SNL monologue where he's talking about his mom, and I was like,
I didn't watch that. I didn't watch. I haven't watched SNL in a while, man.
Oh, okay. Some people we know are on there.
Oh yeah, man, they're right for it. I mean, I'm not like, it's not like I'm not
no, I know.
Interested in it and stuff. It's just I'm not rushing to it. I also like I wasn't the biggest fan of the Chappelle monologue, and like I just never went back to SNL after that.
Oh, the recent one he did?
Yeah, that was.
You didn't like it?
I don't know, man. It just put me in a weird vibe. I was kind of like,
I thought it was good. I thought that was I mean, it shows you, to me, I'll say it shows you why he's good at what he does. He's great at what he does, but I can understand why people push back on it.
Yes, same.
Man,
we got one more. Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say I would have liked to have seen Jeremy Pope get in.
Yeah, man. The Inspection, folks. Please, if you get an opportunity, go see it. Like Jeremy Pope, Bokeem Woodbine, Gabrielle Union's even solid, even though her role is very similar to Monique's in Precious, but in a different way.
She's almost, even though she's 50, it's almost like she was still kind of like, maybe her makeup wasn't that great.
Yeah, but I mean, she drinks vampire blood. The fact that she's been around since 10 Things I Know, 10 Things I Hate About You.
Yeah.
And practically looks the same, just a fuller woman as nature has it. It's crazy.
This is the thing about her. Like what now you're getting to see somebody like Storm Reed get to do. Like Gabrielle Union didn't really get to do what these younger Black actresses are doing now. Like you get to do like your indie movie. You may get on a TV show. You do your art house movie. You do like a TV action movie. You get to do run the gamut of things that these white starlets get to do. Like I want to see these Black girls do that.
She was tokenized a lot back in the 90s.
Right.
And 2000s.
She was just the friend. She broke out a year or two later with Bring It On, where she could, that she had some great scenes, and the character was a great character for her. And a lot of social shit in that one, man. That a lot of people like kind of gloss over because it's like one of those popcorn teen movies, but it's still, I think like 6 or 7 years ago, I did a show where I talked about it. I did they make you do stand up and then you talk about like a movie that I discussed that movie. I forget the name of that show.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
But
What's the show? What was the show?
I forget what comedy show it was. They don't do it
in New York. Oh, okay.
It was in New York. Yeah, we did it in Brooklyn.
Because I'm thinking of doing something similar as like a Media Popcorn Live event.
It was at that spot where they used to screen movies in Brooklyn.
Oh,
like right
under Legion, right?
Not Legion. No. It was like right by the bridge.
Okay. I think I know what you're talking about, though.
Yeah, where I can't say. I'll say it off mic. But that was I forget the name of that spot, but it was really cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we got one more category because I know we got to get you out for your shows.
Oh yeah.
We got Kate Blanchett for Tar, Ana de Armas for Blonde, Andrea Rosenberg for To Leslie, Michelle Williams for The Fablements, and Michelle Yeoh for Everything Everywhere All at Once. Now, for folks that don't know, Andrea Rosenberg, Risenberg, whatever her name is, she got last minute momentum thanks to celebrities like Mark Maron, Gwyneth Paltrow, Edward Norton, Minnie Driver, who all apparently reached out to their publicists and their people, and then had like did a groundswell within the white starlet community to get her this Oscar nomination that they clearly had to take from Viola or Daniela. And
Well,
it's very
okay.
frustrating.
So I like The Woman King. I went to the theater to see that. Now I went to see it before the controversy. They were saying that, oh, we don't like it because a white woman wrote the script, and these were the people that sold the slaves and all that shit, and was complaining about that fucking movie. I went to that theater, had a good time. I shed a couple tears, and there was a black woman and during the credits that was doing African dances, and I was like, wow, this is a good movie. 4 stars for this guy on my letterbox.
I loved it.
Yeah, I thought it was very good. And now that she don't get nominated, people are mad. But y'all was complaining. They do this shit. They do this shit every year.
True.
They complain about this shit. Did nobody go see Till? Did nobody talk about it? So now don't be mad when the shit don't show up. So you can't be mad. So I don't know.
It just sucks when you see someone like who has all these friends in high places that with no money just come out of nowhere and snatch up one of those spots. I mean, because besides Michelle Yeoh, it would have been an Oscar so white situation real quick with the lead categories.
And at the same time, and I hate to say it, I'm gonna say it. You can't count on doing these black trauma movies to get awards anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Even
look at Emancipation.
Even if Will Smith, if he didn't slap Chris Rock, I still don't think
he would have been nominated. No, that movie wasn't.
I didn't really care for that movie. And I love Will Smith, but I just don't. I think now, like, it's just kind of like, all right, you got to come with something else. You can't. That movie Till will be like, I don't know, like maybe this next few generations, like W. Kamau Bell used to say, black people homework, where you should watch this, read up on it, and you let the movie be a springboard for you to like read more about Emmett Till and what his mother did. Yeah. But you cannot rely on these movies to show black people in pain and all that shit to get awards. You can't do that no more. People got to start coming with this original, myself included. I know you're working on your stuff, but you can't be relying on this shit. It's proven. They already taking shit out of schools with critical race theory. So I'm not saying we shouldn't learn about this stuff. I mean, I'm just saying we can't use that as a crutch anymore.
Yeah, so, I get what you're saying there. I think that though the pendulum will swing and we'll end up getting more stuff like that because of the lack of education in this country.
That's true too. You might see that.
The lack of care.
And I wouldn't mind playing some of those black people.
I mean, I said this on the Three Guys on Patreon episode recently. I'm going to write the Kwame Kilpatrick story for you, bro. I want to do it.
Well, I
want to do it. I think we could both win awards. I think we could both be the Emmys.
You're saying that now, but then when you start to get more clout, and then Winston Duke or Brian Tyree Henry comes around, well, Chris, I had to get it made, man. I'm out here trying to work too. You know what I'm saying?
At the very least, I can do stand-in work. You know what I mean?
No, I'm not gonna do your stand-in work, or unless I play somebody's like his right-hand man or something like that. Okay. But if you got Winston Duke or Brian Tyree Henry,
if it's a movie, I'll probably have to go with those two, with one of those guys. But if it's a TV show, I can definitely fight for you.
And you never know what's gonna like. As it stands now, you would have to fight for me. But as it stands, like, no, but once I get the shot to show what I can do, things might open up.
Exactly.
And this could be the thing that they'll think we're overnight successes, even though we've been grinding. But that would be good. That would be dope, man.
I'm gonna do it.
I would love to do that.
Y'all heard it here first, folks. But Chris, please tell the listeners how they can follow you, man. Keep up with what you're doing.
You can find me at Chris Lamberth on Instagram and Twitter. I also have a podcast called The Mundane Festival. And for the next 8 weeks or so, I've changed it to Last of Us recap show called Brick Masters. And we recap the show, spoiler-filled recaps, and I do stand-up around the city and wherever they book me. And that's where you can find me.
Awesome. And folks, you can follow me at American Collins, AmericanCollins.com. Drunk Black History returns on Thursday, February 23rd. Be sure to get your tickets at drunkblackhistory.com. We're in Brooklyn, New York at the Bell House, but we also have live stream tickets. All that is available again at drunkblackhistory.com. And remember, you can follow Medium Popcorn Podcast at Medium P Podcast on all social media platforms. Be sure to push that subscribe button on YouTube so you get alert about all future reviews and celebrity interviews. And if you want to support the show financially, take yourselves over to patreon.com/medium popcorn. Show us that you appreciate the show and that you want to contribute a little bit to helping us keep the lights on. But also you get a lot of stuff back too. You get hundreds and hundreds of hours of bonus content and videos and all kinds of things. You get to chat with Justin and I. So take yourselves over to patreon.com/medium popcorn. Chris, thank you so much for joining me on this quick mini episode, which wasn't really a mini episode.
And thanks for having me. And we did say Michelle Yeoh's going to win, right? Best actress.
I mean, if she doesn't, I'm going to be furious. I think it's going to be tight between her and Cate Blanchett. I'll wait and see what happens at the SAG Awards. But if Michelle wins at the SAG Awards, I think it's locked in.
Yeah.
But you never know. We thought that with Chadwick. Well, to be fair, I think you and I were the most skeptical about Chadwick towards the end.
After I saw The Father, I was like, ooh.
Yeah. And I think for me, I was reading so much in the trades where people were like secret Oscar voters were saying Chadwick's going to win, but I voted for Anthony Hopkins. And I was like, uh-oh. Yeah. I was like, that's like the 2016 election when everyone was like, Hillary's going to win, but I voted for Trump. And you're like, oh no. Like, you know what I mean? It was bad. But thank you folks for listening, and we'll talk to you soon. Peace.